How's it going? All right, so I want to say good morning and let you know that I am on three platforms, okay? I'm on Instagram and Facebook. So I'm doing this live stream today. So if I'm not looking directly at you, it's because, you know, I'm looking at lots of other people, but I'm just trying to, you know, kill two, three, four birds at one stone. Hey, TT! TT, are we going to the movies next week? Anyway, that's not why I jumped on to talk, but I just wanted to jump on really, really quick and talk to you about my new thing I'm doing. So if you kind of follow me or know me, I'm into TT. Looks awesome. Me and TT are going to the movies next week. So I started a business about 2 years ago with my husband doing short-term rentals. What it is you have a property. It doesn't have to be a house. Some people have houses. Some people rent out rooms in their homes. Some people rent out floors and they put it on Airbnb or VRBO or HomeAway, and that's how they, make side income. I'm trying to keep the light out of my glasses, so I'm working with it. So if you see me moving all around, it's because trying to keep the glare out of my glasses. But so anyway, like I said, my husband and I started this business 2 years ago, and it's been crazy amazing. So it's been a lot of fun working with him. I was a little scared to work with my husband on something, but we're having a lot of fun. And so many people ask me, like, how can I do this too? How can you help me, set up a house and put it on VRBO or put it up on Airbnb? So many people ask me, and I even helped one of my friends with the whole process. And then we were like, wait a minute. We should try to help people do this and get legit about it. So that is kind of why I started to do this as a business. But let me just tell you briefly how I even became aware of this, because I heard of Airbnbs. Who has not heard of Airbnbs, right? And I've always seen things like, oh, you can stay in, an Airbnb that Beyonce stayed in, or the Airbnb that, where the Golden Girls house or something like that. And I was like, oh, that's cool. That's great. But I personally had never stayed in a short-term rental home or unit or rented a room or whatever, even though other people had, all around me have been doing it. I just never had a need to do that. So my family, we a Disney family, okay? If you look on my feed, you see my children, right? You see my children. And, we go to Disney World. So we love Disney. I do too. And I really like to go. I mean, this is a side note, but I like to go because, my parents could never afford to take me, and it's somewhere that I always wanted to go. And being able to take my kids there is really... it's a special thing for me because, I was never able to go as a child. So, so TT said I was actually thinking about it, but I don't think my condo association would allow it. Yeah, so just as a side note, you have to be careful because there are laws and rules. So if you want to do it, you have to kind of research the laws and the rules before you get into it, right? You don't want to set up this Airbnb and then realize it's against the law in your area, or for your condo association or something like that. But anyway, so back to the story. I was off on a tangent. We love Disney. So one year we went to Disneyland a couple years ago, and we stayed in the hotel, and it was horrible, right? Because it's 5 of us, and just being all jammed up in hotel rooms, and the kids are right there, and I can't cook. I feel like I'm living out of a suitcase, and I'm all jammed up. For me, even though I love Disneyland, like, because I had never been there, I love California, I felt like I really could not enjoy myself because I was all jammed up in the hotel. Now, the hotel was nice, and the hotel did the best they could. Obviously, it was a Disney hotel we stayed on campus, so we were close to everything. But it was just very hard for me because I just really felt like I could not relax because I was in a hotel. Now, don't get it twisted. I love a nice hotel, but I just felt like I cannot do this with 3 kids. So the next year we were like, okay, let's go to Disney World. And I was secretly dreading it because I was just like, man, we're going to go on vacation and I'm going to have a horrible time because we're going to be all jammed up in this hotel. And I don't know if you know how much it costs to stay in a hotel at Disneyland. It's expensive. So I called and I was like, can you let me know? I'm trying to find, hotels for 5 people at Disneyland. This is at the date we're going. I called the Disney customer service rep. They were like, yeah, that's going to be like $5,000. It's very expensive. So I was a little like, okay, going into it, I was like, I'm not happy. I'm not going to enjoy myself. My kids are going to have a blast, but I'm going to be like, when can we leave? So there's this family at my kids' old school that they would go to Disney World all the time. I mean, they were there like spring break, Christmas, the whole 9. So I talked to her one day. I was like, where y'all stay when y'all go to Disney World? What hotel? She was like, child, don't nobody stay in a hotel. We stay in a short-term rental property. And she said, it's like $1,000. It's so cheap and it's wonderful. And you can stay in a house with a pool or whatever. I was like, really? I looked into it. I talked to my husband. He was like, book it. We booked a house for a week at Disney World. It changed my life. Can I say hi? Can I say it changed my life, right? I had the best time because I was able to go to Disney World with, my kids and my family, come home, chillax, sit out by the pool, we bought, food, and I was able to cook at home, and, the girls were upstairs in their bedrooms at night, hanging out, watching TV, and my husband and I were downstairs. It was just like we were at home, right? Had an amazing time. I was just like, I'm sold. I was like, I am sold, right? I understand the amazingness of Airbnbs, and I'm booked. I'm sold forever and ever again. But my husband and I, we had always been interested in rental investment properties, and we always thought, well, we would get a house one day and, like rent it out, just rent it out as a rental investment. So, when we went, we realized that, maybe we should do a short-term rental, like an Airbnb, since this seems to be so popular, and, maybe we should go that route, and we kind of were both on the same page, and we were ready to do it at the same time, and we just kind of went for it, and we set up an Airbnb. So fast forward 2 years later, here we are. We have several properties, and it's just been a blast. And I love it, and it's exciting to me. And so that is how I came to even experience an Airbnb firsthand. And that is why, I decided to go in business myself and run, a short-term rental properties actually. So I have a mantra that I say to myself for my business and my properties. And my mantra is, build the life of your dreams one house at a time, right? Because next door to one of my rental properties is, another woman who owns several short-term rental properties, and she has 5 of them, and that's all she does. Is she just runs Airbnbs, and she's like, this is all I do. I love it, and this is a great life. And I kind of feel that when I started doing this with my husband, I grew a deep love and appreciation for this business and what you're able to do, because you're bringing other people into a house or a property that you own, so they can relax, enjoy, bond with their families, or you're providing comfort for them while they're at a conference or in town for a few days. You're bringing these people into your personal space, and you're giving them accommodations, and you're comforting them, and you're providing for them. And that to me is a special thing, because I think a home is a sacred place, right? It's a sanctuary. It's like, I can't wait till I get home, and home you can relax and unwind. And to me, it's a special place. And to let other people in and experience that, I feel that is very special to me. And I take it very seriously, and I take a lot of pride in my short-term rental properties. And I love to do it for my guests. So I believe, but on the flip side, of providing this wonderful retreat or escape for friends, on the business side, I see how, as in my neighbor at one of my rental properties, I see how you can, you can have more than one rental property. You can have one short-term Airbnb, or you could have 10 Airbnbs. So, my husband and I began to say, like, once we set up one, we were like, can we do another one? Can we do one a year? Can we do 2 a year? What's our end goal? We began to think that through our Airbnb business, we could build the life of our dreams one home at a time, right? Because, we have goals. You have goals, right? You have goals, you have dreams, and, you have needs, you have wants that are legit, right? Needs and wants. It's okay to want stuff too, and to work for them. And I know that a lot of people, especially the area that I live in, they use their Airbnb. They rent out, a room or a floor in their house to help with the mortgage. I met with one of my mentors yesterday, and she was telling me that her Airbnbs are for her retirement. So, she still works a full-time job, and she uses all that income goes straight to her retirement, right? Some people just use it as side income. It's just like, hey, I'm just taking advantage of, since I have space, people buying, people booking, people want Airbnbs. So I'm just taking advantage of it. This is side hustle for me. I love it. So, and some people, they want to become Airbnb. They want to build Airbnb empires. So they have, a massive portfolio of short-term rental properties, like in a city like New York, there are several companies that just own like tens of thousands of Airbnbs, and that's their business. And the great thing about short-term rental business is you can do that. Anybody can do it. Anybody could build the life of their dreams one house at a time, or one room at a time, or one floor at a time. You can build the life that you want, because Airbnbs are so popular, and they're continuing to increase in popularity, and people are using them in some areas actually more than hotels, which the hotel people are not really happy about, but people are really have taken to this concept of Airbnbs, and for the person who is a host or who owns the short-term rental property, it's changed their lives. So my goal is to, pass my properties down to my children. So that's my goal, so that they won't have to work as hard. They will already have investment properties and that bring in steady income, and that's also important to me because home ownership is something that is so elusive to women or people of color. It's important, and home ownership is a way to start increasing your wealth, building your wealth, and create generational wealth, because it's an asset that you can pass down to your family for generations, right? A house. So you may be saying, well, I don't own a house, right? I can't afford a house, but that doesn't mean you still can't have an Airbnb in your house or your property. You can rent a room out. Lots of people, actually, I know a few people who rented out just a room, or they rented out their space, when they were, gone for, a week or two, or so they'll rent out a room or space in wherever they live, condo, whatever, and then they use that money to put down to a down payment of a house, and then they can just continue. They still continue to rent out as an Airbnb, and they build their wealth and their Airbnb portfolio that way. So anyway, all that to say that if you see my latest post, I am helping people start a short-term rental business. So if you've ever said to yourself, I want to start an Airbnb, I want to set that up, but I don't know how, I don't know what to do, we've gone through that process, been there, done that, helped others do it as well, and we're here to help you. I'm here to help you do it, so I'm going to be doing it. And what I'm offering is that just to talk and see where you are, see where you're at, see what you got going on, what kind of property you're interested in putting up on Airbnb or VRBO or HomeAway, and just see, right? So it's a 1-hour strategy session. All you do is click the link in my bio and sign up for a time. That's it. It's free. I will talk to you personally, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And I can start you on how to build the life of your dreams one house at a time. So that's all I wanted to say, just to let you know how I got into the business and why it's so close to my heart and it's so important to me. Like I said, I definitely plan on passing my properties down to my children, and hopefully getting as many properties as I can as short-term rentals, and building the life of my dreams one house at a time for me and my family and my loved ones. Okay, so holla at your girl, click the link, and on Facebook I'll actually put the link in the comments. Like I said, it's 1 hour. It's 1 hour strategy session. I'll see where you're at, see where you need help, and if you have questions, I can help you with that too. Okay, so I gotta get out of here. I'm supposed to be, working out, so I gotta get ready for that. So it's been great talking to you guys, and I will be on here tomorrow, live, talking to you about other stuff. Okay, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. All right. Bye, Facebook.